Hello, and welcome to US History and Elections. Today is October 5th. We are 28 days away from the presidential election now, Election Day as it would be called, and I'm going to be looking at the national polling averages and why Joe Biden will win the popular vote for this 2020 presidential election. Now, as you can see, I'm on 538, which takes in a wide range of polling data from various sources like Monmouth, YouGov, Ipsos, many pollsters, and this is the national average of the polling data when voters are asked, would you vote for Biden or Trump if the election was held today? And as you can see, the current lead is Biden with 50.8% averaged out and Trump with 42.8%. That is exactly an 8-point lead for Joe Biden, the challenger. Now, as you can see, Biden has continuously held a lead over Trump, with his narrowest lead being just over 3 points, almost 3.5 points back in April. And I believe his largest lead was, almost 10 points around this point in July. Ever since then, it's stayed roughly the same. It's never gone below 6 points, and it's never gone above 9 points. Actually, it's gone, a bit above 9 points at that point, but it's never gone above. It's never gone into double-digit leads for Joe Biden, which is pretty interesting. This consistency shows that Joe Biden has, maintained a steady level of support from across the nation. And if these polls are to believe, Joe Biden will be winning 99.9% of the time if these polls are accurate come election day. If he wins by 8 points, there's going to be states flipping to the Democrats that people would not even have been talking about 2 years ago. Even 6 months ago, before the coronavirus, there was no chance that Biden would be winning states if he won by 8 points nationally. If he got over 50% of the vote nationally, he would be winning states that the Democrats would not even be dreaming of, which is an amazing position for Joe Biden and a very, very poor position for Donald Trump. I mean, you look at him, he's even lost voters. He's lost voters since March. Of course, this is, roughly the start of the coronavirus. Biden had held the lead, but it was nothing too significant. And then Trump, continuously losing. He's up at almost 45 points. He's gone down and he's, started to slowly gain some of his voters back. His lowest point was here at 41 points. He's now back up to just under 43 points. But this is not what the president wants to see less than 1 month out from the election. Many of people have already voted. Early in-person voting and mail-in votes are going out across the country. Millions are voting at this point. Of course, there's always going to be a lot more voting for Biden because his base is more trustworthy of these sources. And, Donald Trump supporters overall are a lot more wary of voting early, especially mail-in voting. However, you do not want to see Donald Trump at this point in the election when people are already voting. People have already decided. At this point, there's about 8% of voters who are undecided. Actually, even less. Yeah, about 7% of voters are undecided at this point. That is not enough for Trump to win the popular vote. Biden will win the popular vote no matter what this election. If Hillary Clinton could win it by 2.8 million votes back in 2016, Joe Biden would be winning it by more this election season. Now, it's not just the national polls that are showing a very, very good sign for Joe Biden at the moment. If you want to go into the betting odds shown by Real Clear Politics, this is an average. There was Donald Trump held a considerable lead up until June, I believe. This is when it started to go, at the turn of June, Donald Trump went to the negative and Joe Biden began to take a huge lead. He never went above 61. You got 61 at this point. And then Donald Trump comes up close as we go into August. This is when Donald Trump began to gain some steam going into the start of September. And, Donald Trump never overtakes him, but he's within a percentage point at that point. And then the debate happens. Wow. Look at that jump. Within a matter of days, Joe Biden has gained, looking at, 6 or 7 points, and Donald Trump has lost 6 or 7. This is the largest gap. Not the lowest Donald Trump's gone to. It's gone lower than this, but this is the largest gap that there has ever been during the entirety of the recording of the betting averages. Betting companies think Donald Trump has lost his chance to win almost certainly, being stuck in Wall Street Hospital for at least the next couple of days, even if his medical staff do manage to get him out um, before a normal quarantine period would end. He has still missed out on many days of campaigning, vital campaigning at this point, which he needs to turn around the election. And the national polls are showing him in a terrible place, 8 points behind Joe Biden. And the betting odds have exploded in favor of Joe Biden, with Donald Trump rapidly falling. This is an almost worst case scenario for Donald Trump. And it's not just Donald Trump, the Republican Party as a whole is struggling. Many of its, the White House, it seems to be COVID central at the moment. And this is a terrible position for the Republicans to be in. Many senators, I believe it's 5 at the current time, are self-isolating. 3 of them have it. Tom Tills, the senator from Wyoming, I believe. Tom Tills, the senator from Wyoming, and Ron Johnson from Wisconsin. And there's a few more that are also self-isolating because they've been in contact with them within the incubation period. So this is an all-time low for the Republican Party. If this happened back in June or July, then they would have enough time to rebound from this. They have 28 days to rebound from this until election day, and that's not even counting the many early votes that have already been going across the country. And there's going to be a big impact for this terrible point of the Republican Party that we are seeing at the moment. Now, if you go into the electoral map, I've given all the states that Hillary Clinton won back in 2016, and I've left out, quite a lot of the swing states that Donald Trump did win. I've kept in Ohio, Georgia, and Iowa. I've given them to Donald Trump, but all we need is 6-point national win, a 6-point national lead for Joe Biden when all the results are coming in. And if there was an 8-point lead, then you could even say Ohio flipping, Iowa flipping, Georgia flipping. But if these polls are, similar to what we see on election day, even a 6 or 7-point lead, we would see all of these Rust Belt states, flip back to the old blue wall. North Carolina is very tight at the moment. It would just about go for Joe Biden. Arizona has about a 3-point lead at the moment, going for Joe Biden. Florida has tightened in recent weeks and months, but it would go for Joe Biden, and Joe Biden would have 333, as well as these 2 districts, Maine 2nd District and Nebraska's 2nd District. And they would all go for Joe Biden if he won by 6 to 8 points nationally. Especially if he won 8 points nationally, you could possibly be seeing Ohio flip. So not Pennsylvania, Ohio flip, Georgia possibly, and even Iowa. Iowa and Ohio both went to the president by 10 points in 2016, and they were both getting very close. Ohio a lot closer than Iowa. I mean, Iowa is almost on the same level of Texas. Man, imagine if you saw this map when all the results have come in. The only states Donald Trump will be winning is what we would consider the safe Republican states. I don't think it will be to that level. I think the states will be staying for the president. But even then, if he lost Arizona, if he lost Florida, if he lost North Carolina, it would be a terrible position for the Republican Party. That would take quite a long time for them to recover from. And with 6 to 8 point national lead for Joe Biden, when all the results are counted in, this is probably what the electoral map would be looking like. Arizona would definitely go blue, and all of these states which currently have 5 or 6+ point leads for Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, they would definitely be flipping back to the blue we have known them to be for the past few decades. And this is a terrible position for Donald Trump at the moment, and Joe Biden is very much trying to hold on to what he can see as a early victory. But of course, anything can happen. We still have a few more presidential debates. We have the vice presidential debate coming up in 2 days' time. That probably won't influence the election much, but Mike Pence is going to be working around the clock to try and get as many votes for Trump back in these Midwestern states, which he needs to win the election. And yes, it is a very, very poor moment for Trump at the moment, and a very, very good moment for Biden, looking at the national polling figures and the betting odds. So, thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you all again soon.